femininity in dating, early stages of talking, how to keep him hooked. I came across this video a couple of weeks ago, watched it a couple of times, and I have a lot to share and respond to. Please note, I have no issues with this YouTuber. In fact, I think she makes the same type of content I do, but directly for women, by a woman. Great stuff. Cool for her. I just want to highlight a few things from a dude's point of view on this particular video of hers, and how some of her info, in my view, is misleading, and you ladies won't get what you seek. That's right, my dear viewer. This video is for the ladies.
In order to attract a high-value man, you must first understand the characteristics and qualities of one so that you can spot him out. A high-value man is one who can share his value with others because he has so much of it to spare. This is a man who does not need any validation from any other people. It's a man that commits to himself and others. It's a man that puts forth effort into his woman and handles his business. A high-value man has purpose. He is secure and has high self-esteem. And most importantly, he has morals and standards that he sticks by, and he always takes responsibility. Being high value does not always pertain to his wallet. It can pertain to his self-conduct, his high status, or his lifestyle. It all depends on what you value most.
Okay, I have a problem with her definition of a high-value man because I saw this on this video. I've heard of it a couple of times here and there on the interweb, and I actually now had to research it to find out who popularized this term of high-value man. I could stand to be corrected, but from what I saw, high-value man is accredited with Kevin Samuels, another man in the whole pickup artistry industry, so to speak. He gives advice to men about everything, not just only dating, but business also, image, because he's an image consultant himself and all that stuff. Anyways, he plainly says what a high-value man is.
One of the reasons I focus there is one, because my career, like I said, college, white collar, corporate salesperson. And if you want to get to the top, you have to separate yourself from the crowd. And one of the things is high value men determine who high value men are. There has to be a resource component. There has to be a money amount. I mean, like I said, you can't be high value and homeless. So you have to be able to make the money. You also have to have it be consistent over a long period of time. You can have a great season. Anybody can be Jeremy Lin, but you're not going to get to the Hall of Fame. Then you have to have a network, and then it has to be confirmed by other people. Generally, we use as a ballpark, like making $10,000 a month. That ticks a lot of people off because that puts a very hard line. But the top 10% of earners in this country make that $100,000 or more. But that's where you tend to hear a lot of people tend to focus. Now, that's a barrier to entry. Is it hard? No. What net is a high value man is, do you have high value friends? Do you have a high value mindset? Or do you have a high value network? And are you being used? Yes, you should be used because you are useful. It's almost impossible to be high value and useless. So that's why we kind of focus on this whole high value thing, because it is a bar that needs to be pushed. It needs to be rare. It needs to be hard to get to. And it needs to be more than money, because if you just said it was all about money, then anybody with a bunch of money could be high value. But we know that's not true. So that's just about as short as I can make it. And I probably ticked off about half the audience, but it is what it is.
In my view, these traits are straightforward and not subjective. They're not biased. They are merit-based, more nature-focused, so to speak. Unlike her, where it's open to interpretation. But let's go over her definition point by point of what is a high-value man.
A high-value man is one who can share his value with others because he has so much of it to spare.
What does this mean? Share what values specifically? And values does not equate to quantity, to give. This is confusing to me. Therefore, this point is null and void.
This is a man who does not need any validation from any other people.
This is fair, But I think it's redundant because it's a generic or general characteristics of any human who knows their self-worth. You don't need to be validated. Once you're wise and you're mature, you know this thing. Therefore, I see this as a prerequisite before you becoming even a high-value man.
It's a man that puts forth effort into his woman and handles his business.
This sounds like a call to being a simp. Simp! 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 Anyways, my rebuttal to this is what effort exactly? And a high-value man always puts effort on everything that he values and loves and has a passion for. That's why he is high value. You see, again, rather redundant.
But he didn't say anything!
A high-value man has purpose. He is secure and has high self-esteem. And most importantly, he has morals and standards that he sticks by, and he always takes responsibility.
But he didn't say anything!
Redundant. Again, like the point that she made of validation, this is a prerequisite. I'm not going to go any further.
Being high value does not always pertain to his wallet. It can pertain to his self-conduct, his high status, or his lifestyle.
This is just full of contradictions. Like, how can you say it does not pertain to wallet but includes high status? If high status means you are high society, therefore you cannot be high status without money and be poor. What do you mean by this? I think she needs to elaborate more, because maybe there's something that's missing. Again, the salt, the context. She has vague terms, basically. Hence, this is just open to misinterpretation. You've heard Kevin Samuels himself mention exactly what a high value man is and my interpretation of what he says and how I agree with it now. But her ones, except for have a purpose, are redundant rather. Because those characteristics, as I've mentioned before, are prerequisites. You need to have that already before you become a high value man. Because a high value man is the next step. It's like winning the league in football and then entering the Champions League. Being a high value man means you're playing in the Champions League now. Kevin Samuels goes more in depth in this, and I will leave a link into the description of this video if you are interested into knowing further about high value man and the dynamics that creates a high value man. He's very insightful and OG, of course, and there's a lot that I've learned from him in the concept of a high value man. On to the next point.
In order to attract a high-value man, you must be willing to frequent the areas that he goes. This means switching things up and running your errands on the nicer side of town. Instead of doing your grocery shopping at a Walmart, try going to a Whole Foods. When going to the bank, start going to the branch in the upper-class neighborhood rather than going to the one down the street from your house with the people pandering outside. If you are going to a bar or a lounge, go to the ones that are in high-end hotels. This is where the businessmen will be. Or, better yet, try the rooftops. These simple adjustments will significantly raise the odds of you attracting a high-value man. This is because you are changing your environment, thus changing the type of people that surround you, therefore raising the probability of you attracting what you want. Now,
Whoa, okay. That is bad advice for women in my view. Because one, why are you changing who you are and presenting a fake persona of you? That's how I interpreted it. Sure, the counter argument, that's not what she really means. She just means elevate the areas that you go. But actually, in my view, by you going to these areas and therefore changing, because you have to conform to those rich areas. You can't just go in there wearing your sweatpants and whatnot and what ifs. Nah, you have to change. So if you're a woman, you are not comfortable with changing yourself, how does this advice help you? That's one of the problems, because you need to be genuine. Because ladies, to capture a high value man, any man in general, in order to captivate him, you need to be genuine. to really have him hooked on you, you need to be genuine. Do not attend these upper class areas or high class areas, whatever you call it, and yet not be natural, not be comfortable in your own skin. Basically, remember it like this: when a hot new club or lounge or rooftop, whatever, a new place in the block opens up, and that place attracts a lot of women, and those women flock there because they like it or they're seeking high value men. Does not matter. Do you not think, ladies, that more of the ass chasers, more of those AFCs, more of those beta males who will not flood there and pretend to be high value?
Ain't nobody got time for that.
Okay, moving on to the next point.
This leads me to my sub-point of learning the art of conversation. Just to scratch the surface, the main skills that you should practice and implement are listening more than you speak, not oversharing, and keeping a feminine flow.
Okay, what's a feminine flow? Somebody better educate me on that one. You know what? And I'm gonna skip it because I'm not touching that hot potato. Because I don't know what that means, feminine flow. Could mean a lot of things. Anyways, moving on.
Now say it. You beautiful. You love me? I love you, Mama. Will you rock my world? I rock your world. I rock your world. I rock your world.
Overall, the info Miss Feminine is giving is mixed in my view. She says the right stuff but lacks the understanding of why say it. Why is what it is. It is like most self-motivation cinemas where they teach you affirmations, where they go,
I am success, I am brave, I am the rock.
Yeah, they make you feel good temporarily because it gives you that ego boost, but when you're faced with real challenges, that affirmation quickly becomes
loser, you damn failure, mother.
All bunch of sayings. You know, the older you are, the...
Point is, if you do not understand why you say those affirmations beyond just making you feel psyched up and motivated, and not understanding the connection of your affirmation and goal building, your personal mastery, and how this all aligns with having your values and making sure it's all in sync, you won't succeed. Same with her advice, basically. She says what she views as high value man, but the holes in her definition, like not taking in consideration man's values. Everything that she has mentioned, nowhere does she mention he must match your values. Ladies, I think this is critical, both men and women. Why would you go for someone, date someone, be in a relationship with someone, whatever, if you don't have the same values from the get-go? I think knowing one's values is like knowing, listen here, are you a liar type or cheating type? Right there at the beginning. It's one of those things you want to know right there and then, saying, because if we don't share the same values, yes, we may have some chemistry, we may like each other. If one of us don't change our values to align with another one, chances are we are going to break up or we're going to end it. See, now I'm going into relationship advice. Anyways, moving on.
Deep down inside, you know your relationship is going to die someday. So the last thing you want to do is waste your time and energy by trying to make it work. So we're going to help you by teaching you how you can ruin your relationship much quicker.
Did you evaluate his values to see if they match yours? Maybe on paper, just on its own, those values look good. But if you match them up with your values as a lady, do they align? Do they click? Do you as a woman even know your own values? In fact, do you know who you are, my sister? Have you figured yourself out? Your life goals? Are you a high value woman? If not, how do you become one then? Why be fixated on superficial, surface level things for a partner and not really go in depth? Remember, it is a different sport keeping a man. Getting a man is easy. The things that she said, I'm sure 9 out of 10 times it would work to get a man. Not just high value man, any type of man. But to keep him. Keep him faithful. Oh boy. keep him intrigued, good Lord, and still desiring you? What? And not ditch you for a better model, good Lord.